Okay. All right. I will take roll. Mark Giaconia,
I am here.
you are there.
I'm not just a deep fake video stream.
Larry Oulette, Nick Webb,
I'm here.
Bert Schmitz, Mary Jo Phelps,
Here.
and Jonah Lake.
Here.
Very good.
All right, so we've got barely enough for a quorum. But I think what that means is, I think Larry might have been thinking about going to the budget meeting.
Larry's coming in now. He's coming in now.
Oh, good.
There he is.
All good things come to those who wait.
There you go.
Okay, so we've got Larry involved here, so that's good.
Okay.
Okay, so let me bring up the agenda. We did not have a formal meeting last month, so we've got to approve the January 8th, 2024 minutes. Lori was kind enough to attach them to the email, so hopefully people have looked it over. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Nope.
Nope.
Okay,
I'll make a
No.
motion to approve the minutes of the January 8th meeting.
excellent. Thank you, MJ.
You're welcome.
Can I have a second? Anybody? Hello? Bueller?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Larry. All right, so all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that carries unanimously. So as MJ was talking about before we got the meeting formally started, we did do a walkthrough with a couple of town council members on Saturday. It was Carrie Allen and Brian Roccapieri. And I think that went extraordinarily well. And we had a couple other town council members indicate that they were interested, but they could not make it. So, you sort of get credit even when they don't show up.
Well, I think part of it was too, they wanted to avoid having it be a special meeting. So they couldn't
Yes.
have a quorum because then they would have to do minutes and things like that. So I know that was part of it.
Yep, absolutely. Although I think Hank was going to come, Hank Teskey, and he was not able to come because he had a birthday party for his daughter. So, he was unaware. Sorry, I'm just cutting it because I can't hear people. It cuts in and out. Anyway, so that was good. It's moving forward. Larry, I think when we get to the subcommittee, I think we need to have somebody reach out to the property owners to let them know the progress. Happy to work with whoever that is to sort of give all that background. So that's kind of what I've got as the big, well, the other thing that's interesting that I think the committee as a whole, not just the subcommittee, should think about. There are a couple of other properties that are adjacent to the property that we're looking at, that would be remarkable to add to this whole park concept. There's property held by Susan Levy, and then there's another property held by a trust. Both of those are fairly good size. I think the Susan Levy property is over 50 acres. so adding that to this whole thing, and it's contiguous to Jesse Buell, the Dowd property, it would just be amazing, so. I don't think we're done, even if we get this acquisition done. But this one, it seems like we're moving along at a good pace. So let's turn to old business. MJ, I saw your email on residential food composting. Do you want to bring us up to date?
See, so I talked with Sam at Blue Earth. I don't know if you remember him. He's the one who did the presentation for us. Anyway, I asked him for an estimate for how much it would cost to just serve the school system.
Yeah.
And he's working that up for me, but I was thinking that there's 1,500 students, you know,
Right.
they're in school 5 days a week. So it seems to me there's the potential to, you know, really cut down on the amount of food waste going into the waste stream. So, and they take it to the Quantum Biofuel place, and it gets, you know, they turn it into electricity, Quantum Biofuel.
Okay.
So, and I also looked up what other towns are doing. A lot of them are very similar to ours. But Essex, for instance, where I'm in a Verbo right now, they have starter kits for folks. It's $25 for a 2-gallon countertop pail, a 6-gallon home storage and transportation bin, and 1 roll of 25 compostable bags for the pail. And, you know, a lot of the other towns seem to use compostable bags. And, you know, so I sent an email to Abby, but who knows when she'll have time to get to that, but about the potential for us to use bags,
Yeah,
compostable
it would
bags.
be nicer. I agree with you on that.
Right.
Right now, our deep license prohibits us doing that, so.
Oh, our deep license. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Um,
It was very specific about what we could do and what we couldn't do, so.
okay. Okay. Yeah, but you know, John Siciliano's, he's very open to any proposal to do that.
Okay,
So when I get an estimate from Sam, I'll let you guys know. And, you know, I made it clear to him that I'm not any kind of authority. I can't enter into any contract, that I'm just getting information.
okay. Yeah, and I think that's right. I think none of us actually have that authority.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But, you know, it's good to know what's out there.
Right.
We did go down Blue Earth before. Unfortunately, it was a little bit more expensive, and, you know, at that point, Carl came in and was like, no, we've got another plan in place. And, you know, frankly, that one's working out pretty well. It doesn't cost the town anything. It saves them money, so far so good. The downside is it does put a lot of burden on the residents to cart that stuff in and throw it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Which would love to, you know, make easier. You know, at a certain point, I've got to figure out what the town of, I think it's Meriden, was doing, where they worked with their trash collectors so that they actually would pick up a bin of food waste compost on their normal route. So I've got to figure that one out as well.
Yeah, well, I think I told you that Killingworth, what they do is they have people drop off their scraps at the transfer center, but then Blue Earth picks it up from there. And so, our guys at the transfer center would love that, right? For it to be
Yeah,
for it to be somebody else's job.
yeah, that was too expensive for Carl, and I agree with him. I mean, if we get it all the way to the transfer station, we might as well just throw it in.
Yeah,
our-
that's a good point. Good point.
So. Does anybody else have anything to say on food waste, or should we move on? No? Okay. I got a nice email over the weekend from Susan, the Sustainability Committee. I have to get back to her. I think there are collaboration opportunities. I'm gonna invite her to our next meeting, and hopefully she can come.
Can we just get them on kind of the permanent, so that they get an invitation every month when we have a meeting? So just add them to the circulation of
We
this.
could do that, I suppose. The only issue is, yeah, I mean, look, this is an open forum, right? So anybody can show up. So
Exactly.
absolutely. So yes, I will, so Lori, I'll work with you and get an email address you can send it to.
So did Susan, did she say anything about what's their progress? Anything that's going on there?
No, I think it was just more of hey, we should be working together, and I totally agree with
Right.
that.
Right.
So,
Nick, I do have her email because I do take minutes on sustainability.
oh, okay, great. Well, can you add her to the distribution list so that she at least gets invites to our meeting?
Sure, no problem.
That would be great. All right. I'm assuming we're not gonna have an update on the plan of conservation and development from Abby, is that correct?
That is correct. The only thing I can tell you is there's over 400 responses to the survey as of right now. And it's still continuing. That's about all I know.
Okay, well, 400 responses is really good.
It is.
Okay, cool. So let's move on to correspondence. I know you put in at least one of the letters.
I thought I added 2, but
Might have, I can't. Oh, hang on, I can do that, and then I can go back. Give me just a sec. So the one I feel most tied to is the CLCC, the Connecticut Land Conservation Council. Because they were very supportive. They provided a couple grants for the acquisition of this property. So I think we as a town should, help them out. The Connecticut River, we might as well do, why don't we start with Land Conservation Council, and I'm thinking, if we could get a motion to approve a couple $100 to the Land Conservation Council. And see if we could get that through Carl, or no longer Carl, Michelle.
What did we contribute last year? Do you recall?
It was either 100 or 150, and I've forgotten which.
Okay. Is there a reason you want 200 as opposed to the same as our contribution last year?
The only thing I'm thinking is we have a lot of money left in our budget that will disappear as of July 1.
And if, as you say, they gave us money,
They did.
yeah. They support us, I guess we should support them.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us something like $6,000 to $8,000 in the first grant, and
Okay.
another 5,000 in the second grant. So they've been very supportive of the land acquisition that we're working on.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we contribute $200 to the Connecticut Land Conservation Council. A donation.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries unanimously. Lori, I'll work with you to action that.
Okay,
So the next one is the Connecticut River Coastal Conservation District request. That's also on the meeting info that Lori sent around. So I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that.
You know what? I don't recall. What do they do for us? And or have done for us? Do they do any type of lobbying or update levels or letters or any type of courses? What do they provide? Conservation commissions in general, if we know.
So here's what they say they do. They conduct site plan reviews and on-site natural resource assessments. We haven't used that. They assist with training land use commissioners. Don't use that. Support efforts to obtain sustainable CT certification. Yeah, we can talk to Sue if they've helped with that, but my guess is no. Work with former farmers and forest landowners to plan and implement sustainable practices. Nope. Secure grant funds to conduct watershed assessment and water quality protection projects. Again, I don't think they've helped us. Conduct natural resource surveys and GIS mapping and develop open space management plans. Again, I don't think they've helped us. Develop public outreach and education programs and provide free education publications. They are suggesting that we donate $2,000.86. The only thing is I don't want to be the only one. I have no idea if we've had any impact from them whatsoever.
Is there a way we can see what, if anything, we contributed to them in last year's?
I think we did $100 last year, if I remember correctly. But why don't we do this? Can we table this for a month? And why don't we ask Abby and Sherry, or Lori can see if anybody in the land use has talked to these guys, gotten any value out of them. And if we haven't, then I think we, because, they would be technical expertise to our town staff.
Yeah, if they provided anything for our town, then I think maybe a contribution of $100, if that's what we gave last time to them. It says Coastal Conservation District. Again, we're a town on the coast. However, it says Connecticut River Coastal Conservation District. We're not on the Connecticut River per se. So does that mean that they are more focused on the Connecticut River towns and the coast in that area? If it does, then that kind of leaves us on the outside of that.
Right. And what's funny is they addressed it to Michelle Benevegna, but then they said, "Dear Mr. Kilduff," in the letter. So anyway.
And
let me do a little research. Lori, if you could help me out digging around the land use office. Could we table this for a month if that's okay with everybody?
Yeah. And by the way, going forward, do you know if there's any support, and I guess this would be a question for our planner, is there any support for a possible future procedure where if we have leftover funds, it defaults into our open space funds? Open space purchase account?
That's a great question. We'll have to ask Abby. My guess is no, because there's two different things. The open space fund is a capital appropriation, and these are annual appropriations.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
You know, I was just looking at their website, and I think by Zoom, I have attended a couple of their programs, but I think that was under the auspices of the inland wetlands. I don't know if it was conservation.
oh, that's a really good, so I mean, maybe the inland wetlands are working with them. That
Yeah,
would make
I
a lot
don't,
of
I don't
sense.
know, but I know I've attended some, like seminars on Zoom
Okay,
from them.
well, that's helpful.
Yes,
So, I don't want to just shut this down without doing. a little investigation.
right.
And by the way, if inland wetlands was using them, maybe they are contributing something from their budget, in which there'd be no reason for us to contribute, particularly if we haven't used them.
Yeah.
Hey, Lori, are you on the inland wetlands? Do you work with them as well?
No, I don't. Sherry's on inland wetlands, but when I go in tomorrow, I can check with everybody.
Okay, great. Perfect. Thank you. And then we'll do a little research, and then I'll come back or we'll report back next month. And I think it's better to do that than to try and fly blind on this one. I certainly don't think we have $2,000 to contribute. So,
Did we lose Nick?
what's that?
I mean, did we lose Mark?
No, Mark's there.
Still
Oh,
here.
okay.
He's just a strong, quiet type, you know.
I'm just quiet.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Oh, I see.
Okay, so that handles correspondence. Which brings us up to the Joint Land Acquisition Subcommittee meeting. And I don't see any of the mics here. Either Mike Hood or Mike Castig.
No. Now, I'm not sure, Mark, did you, and Nick, did you get my update, email that I sent out this morning?
Yes.
Okay, all right, and that's with regard to what we're doing going forward. Do you want me to give a short report on that?
Sure, and I can give a short report on where we are with the walkthrough. And where I've gotten to in terms of inviting speakers and stuff. So go ahead.
Okay, all right, so just to report, the joint land purchase subcommittee meeting, we had a work session that occurred on March 3rd. It was at the library, and at that time, we confirmed that we will go forward with the library event and presentation on open space, which is currently scheduled for Wednesday, May 21st, 2025 from 6 to 8 p.m. We have reserved the big library meeting room there. So we have that meeting room set. We're going to go forward with that information session and presentation. Now, with regard to that presentation, we confirmed as well, there's going to be two reasons for it. To talk about, one, the general benefits and advantages of open space purchases for conservation, preservation, and use. And then number two, the benefits and advantages of this particular planned open space purchase of the 23.5 acre Harris Bradford Ledges property located on Route 81, Killington Turnpike. So that's going to be, we're going to go from general advantages down to the advantages of this particular piece. And that's going to be the presentation for May 21st at the library. Now, in preparation for this event, we decided this event's going to be put on jointly by both the Clinton Land Conservation Trust and the Conservation Commission. in preparation for it, we have the following tasks and assignments that we have to pursue by the joint subcommittee members. First, we have to contact, arrange, or schedule the following event speakers on general benefits of open space. And again, we talked about either getting someone from the town of Guilford to be a speaker and or Westbrook Land Trust to be a speaker. Nick, you had indicated at that subcommittee work session that you were going to try to reach out on that. And if other people.
So I did reach out to the town of Guilford and I have not heard back from them yet.
Okay, all right.
I need to contact Abby about the Westbrook speaker.
Okay, and let me just note that down here. Okay, and what we were going to do tonight is have a quick work session, but since we don't have the other CLCT members, what I'm going to suggest is we have another meeting near the end of March to confirm all of the assignments that are listed on my March 12th memo. So, what I was going to suggest is this, if this is good for you, Mark, and good for you, Nick, that we have another meeting at the library, a work session, that would be on either Monday, March 24th at 6 o'clock at the library, or Wednesday, March 26th at 6 o'clock at the library. Are either of those good for both of you?
They're both good for me.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so what I will do is, it better we have it sooner than later. So why don't I plan for Monday, March 24th for another work session? I'll send an email out to go to both of you, myself, as well as the two land trust members. And at that meeting, we'll go over all of the assignments needed to put this May meeting on. And we'll assign them out to each of the five of us and or the planner. And then that being done, we'll all go about doing it, and then we'll reconvene for some time in mid-April for another meeting to finalize on things. How does that sound?
Perfect.
Sounds good to me. Yep.
All right, good. Well, then there's no need for me to go over this entire list of assignments that I've outlined. What I would ask you guys to do in preparation for the Monday meeting on March 24th is go look through those assignments, determine which ones you'd like to work on, either by yourself or other people. I put some names down already for people who indicated they would do those assignments. And then if there's any other assignments people feel we should need to do for that presentation at the library, add that to the list so we can do a comprehensive review and task assignment at the Monday, March 24th meeting. All right?
That sounds good.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so the only report I have is we took a couple of the town council members around on Sunday at noon. It was hastily scheduled at the very last minute because I didn't know if it was going to be too wet. I didn't know if it was going to be too cold. You know, we had to have like the perfect conditions, and Sunday was the perfect condition. So I reached out quickly to all the town council members, as well as Mike Hood and Mike Castigliani.
Was this for Saturday?
It was Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. Okay.
And so we had Brian Roccapiori and Carrie Allen go. Look, if you haven't walked the property, and I'm gonna ask Mike Hood to set it up, I would love all of you to go on it because it really is unbelievably nice. It's a terrific. And the reason I didn't extend the invite to everybody is I just didn't know if we were going to get any of the town council to agree to go on it. And so I didn't want to commit Mike Hood unless we were going to get going. So the property is great. I would like to set up a time when all of you guys could go. Those of you, I will warn you, it is not for the faint of heart. It was a 5 to 6 mile hike. over some pretty, rough terrain, and some of the hills are pretty steep, so just be aware of that. I was pretty, out of breath at the end of it, I've got to admit. Nobody else seemed to be, so it's just me.
Hey, by the way, if I can cut in, Nick, and just mention one thing. Part of the presentation for that May 21st library presentation, one of the things I had put is at the very end, having an invite to have all of the attendees come on a walkthrough through the property. And again, because the attendees are going to be members of the town hall, the town council, town planner, town manager, different subcommittee, different commission and board members, different members of the public. We're going to have those people all invited at the meeting. So at that meeting, it'll be a good time to put an invite out for the attendees, if interested, to walk the property as well. So we can have another walkthrough sometime shortly after May 21st. If you don't, and then again, do you want one before that? Nick?
I think it'd be good for our guys, so Joan and MJ and, I mean, Lori, you, if you want to have that available to go on a hike and have like, well, Mark, you can probably map it out as well as anybody, but you or Mike Hood map it out so that we know where we are. And when we leave certain properties and move into others. Because we sort of go through several properties, including Eversource, as well as the Dowd property, and then ultimately to this one that is the one we're looking to purchase. So you get a sense of what the trail might look like when you go on this.
By the way, when you did the walk on Sunday, did you start at the end of Cream Pot Road where we had started before, where the parking area is going to be, and then
Yes.
walk through to the trail that goes out to the utility property?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
that's exactly it. So that's how you start. So yeah, it was very pleasant, and it was it's a haul. So I think it'd be great to get everybody out there. So I'll talk to Mike Hood, see if we can arrange a hike for everybody. Now that the weather's getting nicer, it might make sense for everybody to go out there. I'm cognizant that we don't want to create a meeting, so I'll probably hang back so that we don't get a quorum.
Was it you, Nick, or was it Carrie who told me you kind of bushwhacked a little bit up there?
Oh, I think probably Carrie. Yeah, we definitely bushwhacked.
Okay.
It was funny. There was I took my dog on the hike, and there was a point where there was all these sort of hip height, sort of like little mini trees. And my dog is kind of a cross between a golden retriever and a border collie. So sort of very nimble and very fast, and it almost looked like it was a one of those competitions where they go through the and I couldn't keep up with him. He was dragging me all over the place. He was very excited. So anyway, it's a great property. It's very exciting that we're even at this stage. Mark, Larry, the one thing I think we have to get done is somebody needs to communicate with the property owners that we are still in the progress, and progress is happening, and there's a lot being done. And I'm very happy to sort of write a sample email with all the steps that we've taken and where we are. But I think it's good for them to hear that we are making progress and things are moving along.
Okay, all right. I will do that. We have a CLCT meeting coming up next, I believe, the fourth Tuesday. So I'll report that, and we'll have somebody do an update. And if you want to work on that as well, I'll touch base with you so we can have an update to the people. I think the person who has the direct line of communication right now is our attorney, Ken McDonald. for the CLCT. So, we can either have it presented through him or we can do it directly.
Okay, either one. I think it might be good to have somebody else. I mean, have Ken be the attorney and then somebody else is the sort of more non-attorney, reach out to them.
Okay, all right.
Better term. I mean, I have nothing against attorneys, Larry. I just want to make that clear.
By the way, when you brought the people up on the walk, did you get to the plateau
Oh, yeah.
up on the top? What did they think of that?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
was a animal skull up there that, we couldn't figure out what type of animal skull it was, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, so I think that's it for the subcommittee. So can I get a motion to close the subcommittee meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Can I
I'll
get a
second.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Then I guess we need a motion to close the Conservation Commission meeting. Can I get a motion? MJ is
I make a
making
motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, and Larry will second that. Any discussion? Okay. All in
One
favor?
quick
Oh,
note. Sorry, maybe we already closed. I don't know, but
No,
like
we're not.
when we meet with the owner, Larry, I don't know if Mike Hood and I are kind of a familiar face.
Oh, okay.
And then we'd have a town rep too if we're gonna do like a call to communicate with them again. That might be good just to.
So this is a call between Mike Hood, yourself, and the planner?
Yeah, that's kind of what we did last time when we kind of handed it off to your I forget the guy's name, the lawyer.
Yeah, Ken McDonald.
Ken, yep,
Yeah.
to Ken.
What do you think of that, Nick? Would you let
Yeah, I
those?
think that's perfect. That is perfect.
Okay, all right, good. And all right, that being said, all right, okay. I'll note that down and I'll send that notice out for that meeting so that we can do our assignments.
All right, good, good. So we have a second for the closure of the commission.
Yep.
Can I get a all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. Well, Lori, I think we can close this meeting and thank you everybody for coming and showing up on the Zoom meeting. I appreciate it. And look forward to seeing everybody next week or next month.
Yeah.
All right.
See you
Bye-bye.
later. Thanks.
All right.
Take care.
Good night.